Only 23 people in that arena knew who Bruce Lee was. The champion on stage didn't. The tournament organizers didn't. The judges didn't. 15,000 spectators watching the Hong Kong martial arts exhibition didn't recognize the slim Chinese man sitting quietly in Section C, row 14. That was about to change. In the next 90 seconds, the arrogant champion would learn the most humbling lesson of his career. And everyone in that stadium would witness something they'd talk about for the rest of their lives. This is what really happened on February 8, 1967. This is the story they never forgot. Hong Kong, Queen Elizabeth Stadium, February 8, 1967, Wednesday evening, 7:15 p.m. The Hong Kong International Martial Arts Exhibition, final hours, biggest martial arts event in Southeast Asia. Competitors from 8 countries, 15 different styles. 15,000 spectators fill the stadium. Martial artists, students, masters, families. The atmosphere is electric. Kai shouts echo. Judges call points in Cantonese and Mandarin. Sweat and liniment fill the air. Bright lights on the center ring. The heavyweight division finals are about to begin. On stage, warming up, is the favorite to win, Chen the Dragon Fist. His father was African-American, U.S. Navy serviceman stationed in Hong Kong in 1939. His mother was Chinese. She named him Chen to honor her heritage. Chen is 28 years old, 6 feet 3 inches, 230 pounds, dark skin, African and Chinese features, training since age 7, 21 years of practice, black sash in Hung Gar Kung Fu. 3-time exhibition champion, undefeated 4 years, 52 consecutive victories. The undisputed champion of Hong Kong martial arts, and he knows it. His confidence borders on arrogance, crosses that border completely. Chen stands center ring in traditional black kung fu uniform, sash perfectly tied. Patch shows his school, his rank, his accomplishments. He stretches, throws practice punches, air snaps with each strike. Powerful. Traditional Hung Gar, deep horse stances, tiger crane movements. The audience watches, impressed, intimidated. He looks like a champion, never misses a chance to remind everyone he is the champion. The exhibition organizer hands him the microphone. A tradition before the finals. The champion speaks, motivates, inspires, sets the tone. Chen takes the microphone. His voice booms through the stadium speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, martial artists, fellow competitors. His voice is strong, confident, commanding. I stand here today as your 3-time champion, 52 consecutive victories, 4 years undefeated. The audience applauds, respectful, expected. I have proven that Hong Kong Kung Fu is the superior martial art, that Chinese fighting systems are the most effective in the world. Some in the audience shift uncomfortably. That's a bold claim. Martial arts politics are sensitive. Different styles, different philosophies, different schools. Chen continues, I have faced every style, defeated every challenge, and I will continue to prove that traditional Hung Gar is unbeatable. The audience is quieter now. Some disagree. But Chen is the champion. He's earned the right to speak. Then Chen makes a mistake. A huge mistake. I want to address something bothering me. This recent trend of modified kung fu, these so-called new systems, these experimental techniques. The audience tenses. This is getting controversial. Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, these simplified styles, these shortcuts. In row 14, section C, a small man in casual clothes shifts slightly. Black slacks, white pressed shirt, no uniform, no indication he's a martial artist. His companion, a young Chinese martial artist who knows who he is, whispers, "You want to leave?" The small man shakes his head, keeps watching. Chen continues his speech. These modern practitioners claim they've improved kung fu, that they've made it more practical, more effective. He pauses, scans the audience. I challenge any of these modern stylists, any Wing Chun practitioner, any Jeet Kune Do artist. Come up here, prove that your shortcuts work against real kung fu, against real fighting. The arena is silent. This is unprecedented. Champions don't usually challenge other styles publicly. It's considered disrespectful, poor sportsmanship. But Chen is on a roll. His ego is driving now. In fact, I'll make it easy. I won't even use full power. I just want to demonstrate that these modern styles cannot compete with traditional kung fu. That all these claims about efficiency and directness are just talk. He scans the crowd again. So, any modern kung fu masters here? Any brave practitioners willing to test their simplified systems? Silence. No one moves. Chen smiles. That's what I thought. All theory. No substance. These modern styles are... I'll accept your challenge. The voice comes from Section C, Row 14. Quiet. Calm. But it carries. Everyone hears. Chen stops mid-sentence, looks toward the voice. Excuse me? I'll accept your challenge. The small man in row 14 stands up. Simple clothes, black pants, white shirt, no uniform, no belt, no patches. Looks like a spectator, not a competitor. Chen squints, can't see clearly. Lights in his eyes. You practice these modern styles? I practice Wing Chun and my own system, Jeet Kune Do. Chen knows Wing Chun vaguely. Some close-range style. Jeet Kune Do, never heard of it. And your name? Bruce Lee. Chen doesn't recognize the name, doesn't follow experimental martial artists, doesn't watch American television, doesn't know about the Green Hornet, doesn't know Bruce Lee is becoming famous in martial arts circles. The 23 people who recognize the name sit up straight. This is about to get interesting. One seated next to Bruce whispers urgently, "You don't have to do this," Bruce whispers back. He asked for a modern stylist. I'm answering. Chen addresses the judges. Are you allowing this? This isn't a registered competitor. The organizer speaks. It's an open challenge. If both agree to a demonstration, we allow it. No official judging. Chen shrugs. Fine. Let's show everyone what happens when modern shortcuts meet traditional mastery. Bruce makes his way down from row 14, through the audience. People move aside, stare, whisper. An older woman grabs his arm. Young man, don't do this, you'll get hurt. Bruce smiles, pats her hand. I'll be fine, thank you. He continues, reaches the ring, places one hand on the ropes. Vaults over. Fluid. Easy. The movement should tell Chen something, but Chen doesn't notice. The organizer approaches Bruce with a waiver. Bruce waves it away. Organizers backstage panic. A civilian fighting the champion? Legal implications? Insurance problems? But Chen grabs the microphone. What's your name again? Bruce. Well, Bruce, I admire your courage, stupidity, but courage. Tell you what, I'll give you a free shot, one technique. I won't even defend. Sound fair? The crowd gasps. Theatrical cruelty, public humiliation. Bruce shakes his head. That won't be necessary. You sure? Because once we start, I'm fighting for real. So am I. Voice calm, matter of fact. The referee looks toward the organizers. They're frozen. The crowd is captivated. The referee signals for the demonstration to begin. What happens next will be discussed for decades. Chen Weilong moves first. He's done with theatrics, steps forward, confident. Right hand cocks back, powerful straight punch, tiger fist, a strike that has ended fights, broken ribs, knocked out opponents, but the punch never lands. Chen never gets close. What the audience witnesses defies perception. Bruce doesn't step back, doesn't block, doesn't move until the last instant. Then he moves with impossible speed. A blur, Bruce's lead leg snaps forward, simple kick. But it strikes Chen's forward knee, just as the champion is transferring his weight. The precise moment when a fighter is most vulnerable, most committed, least able to adjust. The timing is perfect. The impact is surgical, exactly on the pressure point of the kneecap. Chen's entire forward momentum collapses. His leg buckles. His balance evaporates. Suddenly, the undefeated champion is stumbling forward, his devastating punch dissolving into an awkward attempt to stay upright. Before Chen can recover, Bruce is inside his guard, not with a wild rush, with controlled economical movements, covering distance in heartbeats. His hands aren't clenched in fists. They're open, relaxed, ready to adapt. Chen, his pride stung more than his knee, throws a wild left hook, trying to catch this impudent civilian. A power shot that would end this embarrassment. But the hook cuts through empty air. Bruce has shifted his body, an angle. What martial artists would later recognize as part of his Jeet Kune Do philosophy. Chen's fist sails past where Bruce's head had been, a fraction of a second earlier. And then Bruce hits him. It's not a knockout blow, not meant to be. But it's a strike that makes a statement. Bruce's fist, closed now, strikes Chen directly in the solar plexus. Shocking force. The sound of the impact carries across the silent arena like a gunshot. Chen's breath leaves his lungs. Audible whoosh, his eyes widen, shock, pain. He doubles over involuntarily, arms dropping to clutch his midsection. The crowd is on its feet now, no longer sure what they're witnessing, unable to look away. Chen Weilong is in trouble. For the first time in his professional career, he knows it. But knowing it and doing something about it are two different things. Chen tries to create distance, backing away from this unassuming young man who just made him, a champion, look like a novice. But Bruce follows, not aggressively, not with wild pressure, with measured steps, always at the perfect distance. Chen tries to set up a combination, a jab to create space, followed by a powerful roundhouse kick. The jab is faster than most civilians could defend against. But Bruce isn't most civilians. He slips the jab. Minimal movement, just enough to let it pass by his face. When Chen's kick comes around, a kick that has shattered ribs, Bruce simply isn't there. He's dropped below the arc of the kick, body low, compact. As Chen's leg sweeps over him, Bruce is already rising, already inside Chen's defenses again. This time, he strikes with his palm, driving it into Chen's chest. Force that sends the champion stumbling backward, into the ropes. The arena explodes with noise, people shouting, some in excitement, others in disbelief. Who is this person? Where did he come from? How is he doing this to the Dragon Fist? Chen bounces off the ropes, his face now showing something it rarely shows. Fear, not of injury, but of the unknown. He has no idea what he's dealing with. Every attack he launches is neutralized before it can develop. Every defense he attempts is bypassed. Casual efficiency. It's like fighting a ghost that hits like a sledgehammer. The champion decides to change tactics. If speed and technique aren't working, he'll rely on his size, his strength, his 230 pounds. He rushes forward, attempting to clinch, to tie Bruce up, use his superior weight, take this fight to close range where his power can dominate. It's a sound strategy. In theory. In practice, it's a disaster. As Chen rushes in, Bruce doesn't retreat. He steps forward, meeting the rush, but at an angle, using Chen's momentum against him. One of Bruce's legs sweeps behind Chen's lead leg. Simultaneously, his hands guide Chen's upper body, opposite direction. Simple trip. Something found in dozens of martial arts styles. But executed with such timing, such precision, Chen has no chance to counter. The champion goes down hard. His back hits the canvas, thud that can be heard in the upper seats. The breath he just started recovering leaves him again. He lies there, staring up at the lights, trying to process what just happened. Bruce stands over him, not threatening, simply waiting. The referee, frozen since the demonstration started, suddenly remembers his job, begins counting. But before he reaches 3, Chen is rolling to the side, getting his hands under him, pushing himself up. Whatever else he is, Chen Weilong doesn't stay down easily. But as he rises to his feet, something in his eyes has changed. The arrogance is gone. The showmanship has evaporated. Now, there's only grim determination, the look of a man who realizes he's in a real fight. Perhaps the first real fight of his career. Chen circles to his left, more cautious now, hands up in proper guard. He feints with his jab, trying to draw a reaction from Bruce, trying to find a pattern to exploit. But Bruce's response is minimal, slight shift of weight, tiny adjustment of his lead hand. Nothing wasted, nothing excessive. Then Chen tries something unexpected. He fakes a low kick, but instead launches a jumping knee strike. Spectacular technique. Won him several fights. Catches opponents off guard. Sudden change in level. Risky. Commits his entire body. Single explosive movement. But Chen is desperate now. Bruce sees it coming. Of course he sees it coming. What happens next will replay in everyone's minds for the rest of their lives. As Chen leaves the ground, his knee rising toward where Bruce's head should be, Bruce moves, not away, but in a direction that seems impossible, directly into the path of the attack, but somehow not in its line. He's found a gap in reality where Chen's knee can't reach him. As Chen's knee passes through the space Bruce occupied a heartbeat before, Bruce's elbow is already rising. The elbow catches Chen on the descending arc of his jump, strikes him flush on the jaw. The impact makes a sickening crack, echoes through the now silent arena. Chen's body goes limp in midair, consciousness shutting down before he even hits the canvas. He collapses in a heap, completely unconscious, arms sprawled at unnatural angles. The referee drops to his knees, waving his arms frantically, signaling the end. Medical staff rush into the ring, pushing past Bruce, attending to Chen. The crowd is in absolute chaos, some screaming in shock, others cheering wildly, many standing in stunned silence, trying to process what they just witnessed. The entire confrontation lasted less than 90 seconds. Bruce stands calmly at the edge of the ring, medical team working on Chen. No celebration in his demeanor, no triumphant posturing. If anything, he looks slightly concerned about Chen's condition. When the champion finally starts to come around, his eyes unfocused and confused, Bruce nods once, small gesture of respect, then moves toward the ropes to exit. But the crowd isn't letting him leave that easily. "Who are you?" someone shouts from the front row. "What style is that?" another voice calls. Questions come rapid fire, multiple dialects, Cantonese, Mandarin, English. The crowd surges forward, people climbing over seats, getting closer to the ring. Security guards rush to form a barrier. Suddenly concerned, this might turn into a riot. Bruce pauses at the ropes, looking out at the sea of excited faces. For a moment, it seems like he might just leave, without a word. But then one of the organizers approaches, holding a microphone, hand shaking. "Sir," the organizer says in Cantonese, "the people want to know, who are you? Where did you train?" Bruce takes the microphone. The arena falls into expectant hush. He looks out at the crowd, at Chen Weilong, now sitting up with medical help, at the cameras that captured everything, and he makes a decision that will prove pivotal in his career. "My name is Bruce Lee," he says, his voice carrying clearly. "I studied Wing Chun under Grandmaster Ip Man here in Hong Kong, but what you saw tonight wasn't any one style. It was simply practical application." The name Ip Man resonates with many. The elderly Wing Chun master is respected, if not widely known outside martial arts circles. But this young man claiming to be his student, he doesn't fight like any Wing Chun practitioner anyone has seen. "That wasn't Wing Chun," someone shouts from the crowd. Bruce smiles slightly. "You're right, it wasn't. Not purely. I've spent the last several years questioning everything I was taught, testing it, adapting it. What works I keep. What doesn't work I discard. I call it Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. It's not about style, it's about truth in combat." The crowd erupts with more questions. But Bruce has said what he needs to say. He hands the microphone back, slips through the ropes, begins making his way through the crowd. Security tries to escort him out, but the press of bodies is too great. People reach out to touch him, shake his hand, get a closer look at this mysterious figure who just dismantled their champion. In the ring, Chen Weilong sat with an ice pack on his jaw, watching Bruce disappear into the crowd. Medical staff asking concussion questions, but Chen wasn't listening. In his entire career, he'd never felt so outclassed. It wasn't just that he lost, it was how. Bruce made him look like a beginner, every technique anticipated, neutralized, before it could develop. "Who was that?" Chen asked the ring doctor. "Bruce Lee, Jun fan. Went to America years ago, teaching Hollywood people. Until tonight, nobody knew how good he really was." Chen touched his jaw. "He could have killed me." The doctor nodded. "You're lucky he showed restraint." As medical staff helped Chen from the ring, the crowd remained in uproar. The scheduled bouts, forgotten. All anyone wanted to talk about was what they witnessed, already arguing, memories differing, despite it happening minutes ago. He moved before the champion attacked. No, it was his timing. That kick to the knee was dirty. The champion challenged civilians. By the next morning, the story was on every Hong Kong newspaper. Mystery fighter defeats champion in seconds. Bruce Lee, the name you need to know. But the real story spread through the martial arts community like wildfire. Master to student, school to school, country to country. The story of a young man who questioned traditional martial arts, who developed his own path, and who proved in front of 15,000 witnesses that his path worked. In the days following, Bruce Lee's life changed forever. His phone rang constantly. Reporters, martial artists, movie producers. Everyone wanted a piece of this mysterious figure who defeated a champion in 90 seconds. The anonymity? Gone. Years later, Bruce would say, "I didn't go there looking for a fight. But when Chen started mocking modern styles, challenging practitioners, treating the art like it was about ego, I couldn't just sit there. If there was a lesson, it was for everyone watching. Martial arts isn't about being the toughest guy in the room. It's about truth." Chen Wei-Long never challenged another modern stylist. He continued fighting professionally for a few more years. But the loss to Bruce Lee changed him. Years later, he would say, "He could have destroyed me in front of all those people, but he showed mercy. He taught me humility. I was arrogant. I thought my title made me invincible. Bruce Lee showed me that titles mean nothing. He was a true martial artist. I was just a fighter." That night, Bruce Lee didn't just defeat a champion. He proved a revolutionary idea, that martial arts could evolve, that tradition wasn't sacred, that questioning and adapting were necessary. Chen Wei-Long stepped into that ring as the hunter, but became the sacrifice, the demonstration of what happens when rigidity meets fluidity, when arrogance meets humility. The confrontation wasn't about punishment, it was about truth. The 23 people who knew Bruce told everyone. Word spread. The Hong Kong International Martial Arts Exhibition of 1967 became legendary, not for the finals, not for the championship, but for 90 seconds when an unknown young man made the champion look ordinary, when Jeet Kune Do proved itself, when Bruce Lee announced that something new was coming, something revolutionary. 15,000 witnesses, 23 who knew, 1 who learned, 1 who taught. February 8, 1967, Queen Elizabeth Stadium, Hong Kong. The night Bruce Lee stepped out of the audience and changed martial arts forever.